I'm just gonna wait a few. Let me move some of this mist out of the way. Sorry for the awkward silence. Okay, I'll wait just another minute. And then we shall get started. Okay, I'll go ahead and get started. I would really like to take a moment and say welcome to all of my new subscribers. I am so happy that you guys have joined me. My name is Shayna, and my favorite holiday is Christmas. Oh my goodness. I'm also and silly, so welcome. I hope that everyone is having a fantastic day today. So what I'm doing today is I took a poll on Instagram yesterday, and I was showing this little pouch that I made for some Happy Mail, and in the poll I asked if anyone would be interested in a tutorial or you know, just me showing you basically how I made this, and a lot of people responded yes, so I was really excited about that. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing here today. So much, thank you. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. I gotta turn this board because it's bothering me that it's the wrong way. Okay, I hope the lighting is okay. I know I've got a little, cover that up. Okay, so basically I am going to be sending out a lot of Happy Mail soon, and I wanted to send some Christmas items to one of the people that I'm sending this to, and I also made I'll show you in a minute, I made something to fit inside of this. So it's kind of large, but I sized it to fit the item that I made for it. So it's a really, really simple thing. I was pulling out all of my Christmas fabrics, and I was like, hey, let's try to make something extra special for this to fit inside. And so as you can see, it's super huge. It's big and roomy. This one, just in case you're interested, is about 10.5 inches by 8 3/4, and that's with the flap closed. So yeah, I'm just gonna pull out these goodies really quick. And then what I made it for is this little, I was taking a spin off of Release the Craftin's file folder challenge. And so I just took a file folder and inked the edges with a bunch of red distress ink. And I know that I'm not showing you how to make this today, but just really quick in case you're interested, I just used one file folder and I've made a little flip book with a bunch of goodies inside. And so yeah, this is why I made the pouch. I really just wanted to have something special to put it in. So yeah, that's the so I mean, if you're interested in seeing how I made this, I'd be happy to show you guys. But anyway, so the pouch, it's so simple, and I don't have any patterns that I followed or anything. I just kind of made it up as I went along, and I really wanted to make one with a lining inside because this fabric is quite thin, and I wanted it to be, you know, sturdy, and I wanted it to be able to last for a long time. And so, okay, let's see, where should I start? What I did first was I took 3 different patterns of fabric. This one down here is older, and I think somebody gave it to me, but I can't remember. This one is also a vintage one that I got at the flea market, I think, and this one's new. So there's like a mix of old and new in this. Hey, Jen, thank you for coming. And then the inside is lined with a vintage pillowcase that I got at the flea market, and it's like, no, sorry, you guys. But as I was saying, I took the pillowcase apart, one of the sides, together in a line, this long line, and I knew I wanted this one to be halved at the bottom, so you get 2 patterns on each side. So I stitched those together, and then I had to kind of figure out how I wanted to make the liner for the fabric. I used almost the whole back side of this. I tore it, and then it was great. It worked out really great for me because I am certainly not a professional seamstress or sewer by any means, and so I think that's one of the great things about the simplicity of this, because I didn't need a pattern. I could totally just figure it out by myself. So it's good to have, for your lining, it's good to have a long piece that can be folded at the bottom, because it made my life so much easier, because that way I did not have to sew a seam, if you can understand my meaning. I didn't have to sew a seam at the bottom because it's just folded over. And so turn it inside out so you can sort of see what I've done here. So once I measured it out, folded it over, made sure everything was lined up well, and I did keep, the edge has this like, what is this called? It's like a scalloped tatting, I guess, I'm not sure, but I wanted to keep that on the top of the inside so it could be seen when you open it, which I think is cute, and also on the flap as well. So then I put them together. Excuse me, I laid them out together. There's a little bit of Fabri-Tac across the seam parts just to tack the pieces together so that I could keep them together while I was working on it. But then you can see I just the whole piece over, made sure I had a flap that was a decent size, and then I've sewn the edges together to make the pouch. And since I've already made this, I know what mistakes that I've made, so I can do a better one this time. Hello, thank you for joining. I hope that it's clear and everything. But anyway, I messed up because I didn't sew this lace on before I sewed the seams together. So now I know this time that it would be better to plan it out better. Then, yeah, basically I just layered a bunch of trims and laces on the flap. This is new, the rest are older. And then this piece of eyelet trim, let me show you, or fabric, I guess. It's this big roll that I got at the flea market, and I washed it up, and it's in really great condition. And so I just cut the ruched top off of it, and that way I could have a straight piece when I laid it down. And so I just attached that to the piece that I kept for the flap, and basically just tacked them down and then sewn them. I just did a little bit of embroidery stitching and a little detail stitch, and then I added I did the outside, which I really hope I can improve on that because it kind of looks crazy. But that's okay. It's handmade, and I think that makes it a little bit more special, gives it a little bit more character. And then I just added some Velcro to close it up. So I'm going to make one with you guys today that's quite a bit smaller than this. I think they're really fantastic for a Happy Meal. And because I have a bunch of Happy Meals going out this month, it's kind of it could be a gift in itself, just the pouch, you know? Or you can make like a tiny journal to go inside, or just stuff it with lace or goodies, whatever you want. So I've got a few different Christmas fabrics, and I also wanted to mention, if you don't if you don't have Christmas fabrics, just muslin, or a plain green, a plain red, plain white fabric, and then you can go crazy with like layering you can use ribbons, you can use trims, laces, whatever you have, even fabric scraps, paper. You could even like sew paper strips onto it, or shapes or what have you. So I don't know, I'm considering making a small pouch out of the muslin, but I don't know. I need to use some of these, so I got this recently at Hobby Lobby in the scrap area, and it's so cute. It's got a barn and trees and little horses. So I think I'm going to use this fabric to make the pouch. Do you guys want to see how I put the different ones together? Or do you kind of understand how that works? If that's what you guys want, I'll do that. Or I can just make one with just one piece, one designed fabric. That's up to you guys. I'll let you choose. So I'm just, yeah, I've also got these vintage napkins. They're hand embroidered, which I think is so cute. Okay, cool. Thank you, Jen. I got these a couple years ago, and I've been hoarding them. I think I've only used one. I used one last year in a journal. But I thought maybe I could use one of these. So there's like little reindeer, super adorable. And then there's one candle and one tree. So I'll probably be hoarding those for a while. So yeah, what do you guys want me to do? Do you want me to piece together some fabric, or just use one piece so you can get the basic construction? It's up to you. Just so you know, my son will be coming home from school soon, so there may be a little bit of background noise in a little bit. So I'm gonna work out a size, and thank you guys. That's 7 by 5.5. How does that sound? Maybe 7 by 5. Let's do 5 by 7. This time, what did I do with it? I'm gonna use this older muslin. I don't know how old it is, but it is older because I got it at the thrift. But okay, so first I'm gonna measure out my lining, because I know what to do better. Let's do, so we're gonna do 7, 7.25, something like that. Let's do 5 by 7.5. So I'm gonna allow myself an extra inch fabric. And it's already folded here, so I'm gonna keep that. So on the front, let's do an extra 1/2 inch or thereabout. And I'm not worried about having these strips because I'll use those for sure. And then we'll just leave this as our closure. Out, but I am going to be lazy and not do that. Okay, and so I would prefer to have this just a bit longer. Well, I don't know. Pretty good size, I think. So just one long strip measured out to however long you would like to have it for your lining. And that way you have this fold at the bottom, which will be on the inside, and it'll just be easier because you won't have to seam pieces together. And the same thing for the closure. It just makes your life easier. So I do have pinking shears, but I'm not going to use them because I like the frayed edges, and I know that I'll sew it together well enough that it won't be coming apart. So what do you guys say about the outside fabric? Do you want me to show you how to piece it together, or no? It's so cute, so cute. I am just gonna cut a full strip of this just in case. I'm not like huge, I mean I love horses of course, but I'm not huge on them or anything. I just thought this was such a pretty fabric, and it was super cheap, so I could not pass it up. I am the worst at this, I'm telling you. Okay. Oh my goodness. So sorry. But if you just want one fabric pattern and you don't want to, what would you, I don't know what you would call that, like, I don't know. I don't know what you would call it, but if you just want one design, thank you. Yeah, can you see, is everything cool now? I guess YouTube is not liking me today. But yeah, if you just want the one piece, you only need to cut the one long piece, the length of your lining. And so basically it gives it, makes it more sturdy and thicker, because a lot of these like pattern fabrics that you get for the season, they're not quite as thick. So I mean, unless you have a super thick fabric. But anyway, maybe I'm thinking that I think I'm going to stick with the one fabric and then maybe do that's really pretty. Maybe do across the closure, maybe the eyelet. I really like that, but or maybe I can use a piece of this. See, that would be pretty. I really like the rounded edge of that. So I think that is what I'm going to do. And then I also have a bunch of trims here. And I had to pull these out from when I did the Poe journal. I forgot I had all this. So I did buy this really fancy stuff for the Poe journal that I was making. I think I'm going to not use this one here, but Okay. I have a ton of other stuff. I also have this, like, it was a table runner thingy that I got at Dollar General. And actually, how would this be to have the little tassel hanging down? Ooh, I like that. I think I'm going to use that. Okay. Sorry, let me throw this stuff to the side. Ooh, I also have the burlap, which would be really pretty. Okay, so just planning out here. I'm going to have to reinforce this little tassel here because it's not sewn on very well. Sorry, I really don't know what's going on with this thing. Goodness gracious. I cut the end piece off of that table runner. So I think I'm going to use some red thread. All right, so this is like the crazy part for me because I don't, with my setup, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to pull my sewing machine over and you don't get to see what I'm doing down here. I think you guys will get the gist of what's happening doing it. So I'm just going to change my thread to some red, and I'm just using all-purpose, nothing special. And to change my bobbin, but it would be pretty to do different colors as well. I think that would be a great idea. If you guys don't have one of these little bobbin cases, these things are awesome. Uh-oh. Before I had this, I would put like a little piece of masking tape over the end of the thread on the bobbin and throw them all in a little container, and it got messy and annoying. Hopefully this thing will stay on for the rest of the duration of the video. That would be great. Oops, got a little bit of tingling here. Just using a regular needle, and my tension is on 4, or just basic tension for this machine. And it is the Brother Project Runway, in case anyone is curious. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do now is just add a bit of Fabri-Tac. Just remember that when you do add it a lot, when it dries, it's going to harden, of course, and so you'll have like, you know, the hardened, you'll be able to feel it inside of in between your fabric pieces. So what I do is I just only add a tiny bit, just enough to do what I need it to do. And you don't even have to do that. I want to do that because it helps me with keeping the pieces together so they don't, you know, slide around, and everything is nice and even. I need to get a new bottle here because this is almost out. Sorry, just trying to get this off my finger. Okay, so I'm just going to put a thin layer, already got some coming out, along the this fold at the bottom. I'm using my finger to spread it out really well so that I don't have any you know, lumps and bumps. Well, like I said, don't add too much or have any like huge globs. You want it to be nice and even and thin. Okay. And of course you can iron your fabrics before you start. But like I said, I'm being lazy today. Okay. And then I'm just going to do up the sides. Come on, glue. I hope that you all are having a good day today. It's actually turned out to be such a beautiful day here in southern Texas. It's really, really cold in the morning and at night. Everything freezes and all that. But I don't know, it's like 75 degrees outside right now. It's really, really lovely. Beautiful sunshine. It's like the perfect weather, just about. The wind is chilly, so you do need a jacket, but Texas doesn't really have a winter, at least not southern Texas, or the area that I am in, so. I mean, it does get cold, but I see that's crooked because I cut it crooked. Okay. Thought I made a mistake there. It is slightly crooked, but that's okay. I'm just going to do the same thing across the whole piece. Put a thin layer on the sides, which we will be sewing together, but I've never really had an issue with the glue and my machine, so everything will be just fine. This is like the super simple, easy process if you're not a pro. I'm sure any pro would be cringing at what I'm doing. But, you know, that's how we do. We come up with stuffs on our own. Is everyone ready for Christmas? Do you have all of your gifts bought and all that? I don't. I do not. So I guess I'm not really ready yet. But I'm excited. Also, I really want to do a few like crafty videos for Christmas, maybe making some ornaments, and I also have a really cute like decoration thing that I made a while back, and I thought it would be really cool to Haven come on and help me. So I'm not going to worry about the, well, I guess I can go ahead and cut off this excess. I'm just going to try and straighten this out because I want to fold, I want to make a hem here at the top. So I do want to cut this. Sorry. Okay. Get any strings out of the way in any areas that you need to. Okay, so this is, yeah, I'll have to iron this out when I'm done because it is quite wrinkled. So, and then we will have the closure come down like that. And so what I mean by hem is I'm just going to fold over the very edge of this and sew it together so that that line is nice and straight. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to glue it together. I wish I'd done that on the other one, but I did also want to have the edging of that vintage pillowcase to show, so I don't know, I like it. Okay. So I'm just going to carefully fold this over just a bit, because I will be adding some trim or lace or something along the edge, so make it look super pretty. I kind of hate that I'm folding over the little horse's head, but that is definitely not straight. So you ladies who are like professionals, I admire you, because this is a pretty tedious thing, but it's so fun, and it all is worth it in the end. I know I'm probably doing this the worst way, but that's okay. Alright, it's still, well, it's not too bad, but I will sew the edge, but then, like I said, I'm going to add some lace across here, because I think that'll be really pretty. And I might do a button closure on this. I'm just getting rid of all of this mess before I start to sew it together, so I don't have anything impeding, like straight lines and even spaces. I think maybe I should hem the edge of this one as well. I do not know how to fold it over straight. I guess you would iron it first so that you already have a line indented for your fold. Probably make sure your edges are super straight as well, so that you can meet the edges, but anyway, I'm not sure, but okay. I keep getting like little hills. This is also going to be covered with laces, and then also with that piece of that table runner, so it doesn't have to be perfect. The preparation, it takes the longest, so yeah. Okay, the glue's already dried up. Okay, that's good enough. Alright, so this is what we have. This is going to be the body of the pouch, and this is going to be the closure. Step back, upside down, of course. And that's another reason why I liked piecing the pieces together, so I know that the fabric on the back side won't be upside down, but it's okay. It's all right. I'm fine with it. I'm going to make sure this glue dries well before I start sewing. And I need to redo this fold. Okay. So like I said, I really like the fraying. So what I'm going to do is sew the edges or the sides straight. And then when I go back and turn it inside out, I can see where I have any excess fabric, and then I can fray it. Okay, so I'm going to start sewing this together. I'll do the sides first. And I hope you guys can see okay. Right. It's going to be loud for just a moment. I'm going to sew down these sides, and then, or maybe I should do the hems first. I think that's what I'll do. I'm going to do a straight here, a straight stitch down the side, and then I think I'm going to go over that with a zigzag to help prevent it from coming apart. So I'm going to go on this side because it doesn't matter. Alright, so I'm just widening and lengthening my straight stitch. Don't forget to do your back stitching. Got a little bit caught up here. Get caught. I'm just following the guidelines on my foot to keep a straight line, even though this may be covered up anyway, but I still would like to have a nice straight line here. Sorry, it's so loud when my scissors hit the glass there. Okay, so we've got the hem on the inside, and I think this is dry enough now, so I'm going to do the hem on closure. I am going in pretty far with my back stitch because I know that I am going to be trimming off some of the sides here. So if I go in far enough, I will ensure that it's good where I need it to be. So now I'm going to sew just a straight stitch along the sides here. Definitely need to follow the guideline for this part because you want it to be as straight as possible. And another thing I've discovered, sometimes when you have thin fabric and you do a straight stitch or many other stitches when it's just that thin piece, unlike paper, which has it's very dense in its structure, the fabric has, you know, a looser weave, and so sometimes you can get where it bunches as you stitch, like you're making a ruffle or something. So you have to take a moment every so often and pull a little bit to straighten that thread back out. I've had that happen to me many times, so just wanted to bring that up. And I'm really close to the edge of the muslin, so I'm going to go back and do another stitch down the side here. I'm just going to turn that around and come in just a bit closer. The sizing is probably going to be a little off, but that's okay. As long as I've got a straight line or almost straight line down the side here, all will be well, because that way when you unfold it and turn it, when you turn it inside out, the seams along the side of your pouch will be fairly straight. And you can always go back and modify it if you need to. Okay, so I've gone back. And now when am I still on? Yeah, okay. So when I go to stitch the sides together, I'm going to use the zigzag. So we do this side. Probably way over stitching, but that's okay. It's better to be safe. Because if you're going to take the time to make something like this for someone, you want it to be well made so that, they can use it for many years, or they don't have to worry about throwing it in their bag and having it come apart. I'm going to do the double stitch on this side as well, because my muslin was crooked there. Okay, so I'm going to go in about 1 millimeter and try to keep this as straight as possible. It's going to look like it's crooked, but it's because the edge of the muslin is crooked. It's funny because I'm talking like I'm some kind of professional or something, and I am not. Okay, so this is what we have so far, and once we get it together, these will basically be detail stitches. So, okay, it looks like I went in a little bit too far up here, and I can check that by putting these together and lining them up. Not too shabby. So I'm kind of just opening it up and seeing how my stitches line up. This one is slightly crooked, but that's okay. Alright, so now you have the base for your little pouch. And so, at this stage, which is something that I was not as smart about before, so I'm just going to move this out of the way. What I did not plan ahead last time was the fact that if you are going to add your trims and your laces, you need to do that before you sew the edges together, because if you don't, you're going to have a time. And what I had to do with this one, because I did not do these before I stitched the actual pouch together, I had to put this over the edge of my machine and have it go like this, which it was tedious. It worked, thank goodness, but it was tea. So actually now I'm just going to, the closure flap can be done last. You don't have to worry about whether or not you've added your laces and trims and all that. And also, if you don't want the stitching to show on the inside like this, I like that myself, because some of the stitches you can't see, and then when you open it up, it's like, oh, so pretty. But if you don't want them to show, add your pieces to the front of the cover before you sew your muslin on there. And I mean, you can still glue it and tack it all the way down, except for when you get to the top, and then, you know, sew your stuff on, then tack your muslin down and finish it off. I hope that makes sense. I feel like I'm not making any sense, but I hope that makes sense. And also another thing that I've corrected in my design, quote unquote, is the fact that I did have to add on the closure flap for this one. So as you can see, there is this seam here, but like I said, I don't mind it. I like things that are made this way. I like the rustic, really handmade look. Like, I love my sewing machine. It's my little baby, but I really enjoy hand stitching for that reason, because this is so pretty, you guys. But I need to plan out how oh, and look at that. I can actually make the design line up. I can line these up, and I think I'm going to do that. That's cool. Okay. So now I want to sort of plan out how I want to layer all of the trims and laces down with your fabric glue, and then you can sew those on. So I'm just going to go through what I've got over here. I really like this tassel. I think this came from Dolly, so thank you, Dolly. I really like this. This is like the hardest part for me, because it's hard to decide when you have all the little pretty things. I don't know if I like the gold, so I think I'm just going to stick with whites and reds, and then I can same thing that I did with the other one, where I layered, you know, with the different colors in between. I think that will be really pretty. And I also have, you know, you can add whatever you want. You know, I've got little rosettes, little crocheted flower trims, so I can, you know, cut individual pieces off. I could add, that's actually really cute. I can add a little flower there. Or this one. Maybe. This is really pretty. I forgot I had this. Just a moment. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, guys. Okay, that's so pretty. This would definitely be a consideration. And then I also have this really adorable, like, sweater trim. That's so cute. And then I also have ruffle trims. Oh my goodness, so many decisions. So I really like this because it's kind of cozy and fuzzy. Let me grab some whites, and see what we can do here. Okay, this one, that would be great for layering. And have some little eyelet ones. Maybe a cream colored would look better. I also still have quite a bit of. Let's get a piece of this. Some creasing music in the background. Okay. And I believe this lace came from Walmart. They have that, like the value lace. But literally, you can use anything. There are no limitations. I think that this would be really cute coming off the top. Okay, maybe. I do like these two. I think I'm not liking this one. So let's put that back. And I think I'm going to use the more natural colors. I think it goes really well because of the browns in the fabric. So let's do that. Let's try this one. Maybe we can have this going across the top. I don't think I really need to add too many here. Maybe just one underneath of this, the red, and then that's gonna be good, I think. That's so pretty. Okay, I think I like that. Got here. No, definitely. I've also got this really lovely velvet trim, but maybe we can save that for another one. So I think we've got it for now. This red actually goes much better. Ooh, you guys, how pretty would that be? It's so hard to decide. Oh my goodness. Let me see what other white ones I have. Maybe let's find one that's a bit more cream colored. And try that out. This one's really pretty. I can take. told you guys, I have a hard time making up my mind with this. So maybe that, and then I haven't used this one much, and I really like the edges of it. I like that it has the knitting across the center. I don't know, maybe the other one was better. This one. That one's quite pretty as well. Or maybe a pom-pom would be nice. That one's cool. See? That. Forever trying to decide what I want to do. Alright, just making sure that I don't use anything else. I also have some like beige. This is a vintage lace here. That's quite pretty. Maybe we can use some of that. Because I do want to line like the inside, the opening part as well. And I really do like this fuzzy trim, but I think that the rose look much. Alright, YouTube. I know I'm definitely going to use this rosette trim. It's just too pretty. And I think I am going to use the white. I did have this. Oh my goodness. That looks good too. No, okay. I'm going for it. I'm gonna go for it. So we're gonna do this one. Doing this at the top. Maybe we'll do that one. Okay, just gonna do it. Gonna do it. All right, so I'm just gonna glue these down. I think I want to remove this tassel here, and then I can sew it back on further up so it's more secure. Okay, so let's glue this down because I really like the rounded edge that it creates. Come on, Slowpoke. Hello. Yeah, you made it. You totally made it. I was alone for a little while. Thank you, guys. I have put together the base. Whoops. I put together the base of it. I know it's really wrinkly right now, but yeah, this is the base of the pouch, and it's basically gonna look like this. Then I just spent like 30 minutes trying to decide what trims and laces to use the closure. So now I'm just gonna tack some Fabri-Tac, and then I'll start attaching them. It's not quite even. Okay. Went just a little bit too far with the glue. What are you guys up to? I really hate this, and I don't want to waste it. Got glue on my fingers. Okay, let me turn it over and see just how far. Go ahead and cut this extra off of here. Awkward silences. So awkward. Don't mind me. Sorry, I keep forgetting how loud that is. Okay. Get out of here. All right, and then, yeah, is it lagging real bad? So it's gonna be like this, and then I'm gonna have the rosettes across the top because they're just so pretty. This is all going to be sewn down, but it really helps to have it glued down there so it does when you are sewing it together. I'm definitely not worried about it being perfect because there's going to be layers on top. really need to get myself another Fabri-Tac. More awkward silence. And I do want to get the edges straight. Make sure that they are the same across. Okay. Now for this pretty piece of vintage lace, I'm going to try to put the least amount of glue as possible because it's so so delicate. Just making sure I spread that out. So not a bunch of, I don't want a bunch of glue coming through. Okay. Yeah, I like bringing the tan out up there. Now, I wonder if, okay, I don't think I'm gonna sew through the rosettes. I think what I'm gonna do is let this part dry and then sew these on, and then I will glue on with the Fabri-Tac, and then that way I can still close the edges of it off. And then I also want to reattach the tassel, and I think I can add a large button there, or I just don't think that, well, how does that look with this flower here? What do you think? I mean, it's cute, but does it go? Does it match? Now I'm just gonna, you like the flower? Okay. I'll use tassel further up so it doesn't hang off the bottom, and then I can hide that there. So I'm just going to glue the lace along the hem of the inside where you open it up, and I think I'm going to use more of this vintage lace. I really like the color of it, and it brings out some of the browns in the fabric. I want to make a bunch of these. They're really fun, and this one I will have made in about, take out all the extra time for silly decisions and all that. I think it will have taken me about an hour and 20 minutes to make it. It's not too bad, actually. So I'm going to glue this lace down, and then I think I'm going to put a more thin red trim across the top. I think that'll be nice. That way I can also hide some of the blue. Okay. how pretty that is. It's so delicate. Okay. All right, let's see. Still have this, which I think is cute, but I think I'm gonna pass on that one for this one. Oh, I forgot. I also have this, which is really nice and delicate. And I also have this velvet trim here, which is really pretty. Actually, I really like that. And then I have these two. I don't think this one. And then this is just a really, really thin one. I think I like the, what do you think? Oh, nice. Okay, do the velvet. Thank you so much. You just made that so easy. Sweet. Yeah, oh man, I love velvet anyway. Adding velvet to anything makes it feel so much more lush and expensive, in my opinion. I just love velvet in general. I love it. All right, so I'm gonna glue that down, and then maybe by the time I'm done with this, I can start sewing the closure stuff together. I hope everything that I've done so far made sense. It's sort of like the layman's explanation for a little fabric deal here. But I found as much as I love to sew paper, I also love to make fabric things. But even like if you weren't giving this, like if you weren't going to use the pouch as like a, a journal, to put a journal inside, or like crafty goodies, you can also send non-crafty gifts. You can pack with candy. How cute would it be to like put a few makeup products inside, or like a face mask and some lotion, and you wouldn't even really have to wrap it up because it's already, sorry, just trying to get this glue off here, because it's already essentially wrapped for you. And then they get to have, something that they can keep for years and years and use it for other things. I think I'm going to make a few that aren't quite so Christmas as well. Maybe just like vintage theme, or like certain colors would be cool. Oh my goodness, the glue does not want to come off of this. Okay. That is pretty. That was a good choice, Priscilla. I like it. Now I'm just going to, before I start sewing that, I'm going to get all of these extra strings and all of the overhanging pieces off. And I'm sewing this thing to death. Like, I am sewing the mess out of it. There's going to be so much stitching on here. Oh my goodness. 1 second. Sorry. Okay. We're almost done here. Hello. Just removing like extra pieces before I start sewing this together. Okay. Wash your hands first. Soap. Okay. So I'm going to use your stitches and stitch these on, and that way open it, you'll be able to see this, because you're going to be able to see this, it's going to be, it'll look nice. So I'm going to stitch across here to stitch the laces and trims to the fabric, and then I'll go and stitch this one, and then we will on the rosettes, and then we close her up. So let's see, what kind of stitches do I want to use? I wonder if I like the leaf ones. That would be pretty. I mean, you wouldn't be able to see it though. Let's just stick to I'm just gonna stick to like it's like the heartbeat sort of, and do this one here. It is not liking sewing this fabric here. Let me just take it a bit slower. Okay, so that's that one. It's one of my favorite stitches. I like it. And then for across here, I think I want to do something a little bit nicer because you'll be able to see that one better. So, well, I don't know, because it would take a lot longer to do the embroidery stitching. Let's just stick to this one. Runner. Such a strange weave. I don't want to break my needle on camera. Or break my machine. Okay, so that's that one. See, I widened it a bit. Oh, it turned out really straight. That's awesome. I am going to here, and I'll just use a straight stitch for that one. And we'll be done with this end. Cool, so it went right along the hem here, so you can't even see it. And I tie these off, but because I know I'm going to go in really far, I'm not going to worry about it, and I'm just going to cut these strings off so they don't get in the way. Now I'm just going to sew this one. I'm going to use that heartbeat stitch again, which is 17. Yes, 17. Yeah, it really doesn't like the velvet. It's okay, just take it slow. Maybe I should have done a straight stitch on this one. Okay. Well, that looks cool. Okay, it looks good. I'll show you. Okay. I'm stuck here. Okay. So there we go. But the inside you won't even be able to really see. So, okay, so I'm going to glue the rosettes on. So this is what some of this is going to be cut off, at least on this side it is, so that looks pretty crooked, but that's okay. So I'm just going to glue each of the roses on there, and then not the ends. I'm going to sew down the side when I put it together. And then for the tassel, I'm going to hand stitch that on and then glue the flower on the top, I think. And then we'll be done with this one. And maybe I can come back in a few days or so and show you how I did the one where I pieced the different fabrics together. But it's pretty self-explanatory. But you know, if y'all want to see that, I will be happy to show you. Okay. Oh, I love this. The little fluffy rosettes at the top is so cute. And I think it'll be really cool, you know, tactile wise. Okay. And I'm gluing these down pretty good. A little bit more generous with the glue because I'm not stitching through the whole thing. I want it to be stuck down really well. Okay. All right. And like I said, I'm going to hand stitch this tassel here and add the flower on top. Priscilla said she liked it, so I'm going to. Okay. So I will do that off camera, I think. Now, all we have to do is sew the sides together and so what you have to do for this part is sew it inside out. So make sure you have it lined up nicely. Let's see where my fold is here. So, and the reason why you do that is because you don't want to be able to see where you've seamed it together. So it's going to go like so. I am leaving just a bit of here at the top. I'll show you. So there's my fold line for the top part. Let me stretch this out just a bit. Work that fabric. So there's just going to be a bit of a gap when you open it up, and that will allow for like you know, it'll be easier to get your hand in there and get whatever out that you have in. Okay, and so I'm going to use a zigzag. You're silly. Thank you though. I'm going to use a zigzag because, like I was saying, to make sure you absolutely want to prevent it from coming apart. So I'm going to use a zigzag for that. So that's going to allow the ends to be frayed and it starts coming apart. So just want to make sure that I have this nice and creased. I know where to fold back up. So here. And now we're going to sew the sides together and make our pouch. I'm trying to line up these stitches. This side here is actually pretty good, but this one here is going to have to be trimmed just a bit. So I'm going to make sure that I have it nice and straight, because once you do this, there's no going back unless you want to do some seam ripping, which takes a lot of time. So, okay, so I'm going to use the zigzag and put this guy together. Got a lot of extra thread going on here. Okay. Hope you can see well. So I've got my piece here. I'm actually going to start from the bottom. So I'm starting from the edge here. Okay, and you want to make sure that you're keeping it straight. So what I'm doing in order to ensure that is that I'm making sure that these stitches here are lined up here and here, because I know that this side is the straightest side for me. And actually I'll do that. If you need to, you can pin it, but I don't pin anything. I'm just going to use some little bulldog clips, and that way I can make sure it's not going to move, because I'm ridiculous and too lazy to get out a bunch of pins. So this here, because I know that this side is a good straight side. I'm not going to have to trim anything off of this side. Okay. And ain't nobody got time to rip. Yeah, girl. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so let me get it to number 4. I think I'm gonna lengthen the stitch just a little, but I'm not gonna widen it, if you know what I'm saying. For those of you that have this I went up 2 counts on the top button to lengthen the stitch, but I'm leaving the bottom button standard. I hope I'm making sense. Okay, so here goes. There's no turning back now, because this girl ain't seen ripping nothing. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to add another clip here. I'm gonna add another clip here, and then I can just move it when I get to that point, because it's still moving away from me. Okay, so I've just added one there. All right, here we go. So let's go, as Zohan says. So let's go. Move that bow pin. I'm going to back stitch on the where I've got this hem. I'm going over it 3 times. And now I can stitch the edge of the rosette to my, it's going to stitch the edge of the rosette and all of the laces on the closure together now. Let's move this down some. Just making sure I've got the little thingies. I know you don't know what I'm talking about because you can't see, but I'm just trying to straighten everything out. And I'm also going to back stitch over this, so I'll be going over it 3 times as well. So the edges of the closure are going to, but I don't mind it at all. Like I was saying before, I really like the more rustic, handmade look of everything, so I'm not just going to be bothered with trying to make it look perfect. I'm going to go back down, making sure everything is adhered extremely well. You're not going to be able to see any of the stitching anyway, except on the top, so it's perfect. It does need to be semi-straight. Okay. So done here, and I want to be this. Oh, that's so not straight at all. It's okay, because once it's closed, you're not even going to be able to see that. So, I mean, just a little bit. That's all right. I am going to trim some of this off. So now I'm just going to take off the clips and do this side. I'm going to pull it nice and straight and even here. I'm going to lay it down on the table. Sorry. have a flat area to do that. Mommy's almost done. Do you need help with your homework? Okay. All right, now I'm going to do the other side. Just making sure I've got everything together well and straight. Ooh, my stitch changed. Let's start that over. I'm not even gonna cut this. I'm not gonna cut the string. I can't think. I can't sew and talk at the same time. I am working this machine today, let me tell you. I'm just scared that it's gonna be crooked when I'm done. I actually went in backwards than what I was doing before, so okay, I gotta take it out and turn it over. Okay, I have to. I have to be able to see what I'm doing. Okay. Okay, we're almost done. I know this is the part that takes the longest. Well, actually it's not. Making the decisions takes the longest, especially for me. Okay, now I'm gonna go back down. I'm going over this plenty of times, that's for sure. It's not gonna look the greatest on the inside, but fine with it. I'm fine. Okay. It's time for the big reveal. Alright, I am going to definitely tie these ends off. Let me do that real quick. These are the ends that are on the inside of the bottom. Hello, hello. Welcome back, Jen. Keep losing it. Okay, there we go. Shaking the whole table. My battery's gonna die soon. Thank goodness we're done. I told you, Priscilla, it would definitely take 2 hours. Alright, get these off. Do I have any more? Nope, that's it. Okay, are we ready? Are we ready? Hey, during the whole first half of this video, you guys might want to put the playback speed at 2 times. Oh, there's a lot of talking going on. But I missed some threads up here. Since these are the final ones, I just definitely want to make sure I tie them off. We don't want anything coming undone or even unraveling a little bit. Okay, so now all you gotta do is turn it back right side out, and I just push my finger or something sharp but not, I mean pointy but not sharp, in the corner here so that you can push the corner back out. It's going to be slightly rounded, but that's the nature of the beast. Push this one. Oh, that one came out good. All right. The only thing that I have not is, you know what, I should have basically let me clean up this mess and then you can see it. Hopefully get kicked off and my phone dies. So here we go. Here's the pouch. See, now you have a nice lining on the inside, which makes it nice and sturdy and makes it look more finished. I still have more to learn about doing the closure. Next time I need to hem these pieces together. Vent this little lip here when you fold it inside out. Love the velvet. It was a great choice, Priscilla. Thank you so much for helping me with that. So this is velvet and vintage lace here. And then when you close the flap, we've got this really pretty, soft, fluffy rosette trim here. And it's nice and secure and sewn on the edges. And then we've got more of that vintage lace, some of this white embroidery lace. And then behind all of it, it's really cool because you can see it through this lace here, is that end piece from the table runner that I used. And then all I'm going to do here, I really do like the tattoo off of the end of the table runner. I'm just going to bring it up a bit so it's not hanging so much over the bottom edge, and then stitch that on, and then we're here in the center, and that's what it'll look like. Pretty little Christmas pouch. And I'm definitely going to, once I finish with this, I'll post some photographs on my Insta So if you don't followed me yet, you might want to check me out, because I more often update my Instagram with project and such than I do make videos. So go join me on Instagram so you can see the finished product. I'm going to make a few more of these. Like I said earlier, I want to make a couple out of muslin and just do like a vintage or probably nature themed pouch. So this is the first one that I did. Definitely changed a few things from this one that I've made. And also, like I said, if you guys really want to see how I piece together the 3 different fabrics to make this one, I would be happy to show you guys. So just let me know. But yeah, I've improved on the closure, which is good. And what else? I don't know. I've improved, and so now when I make more of them, I need to learn a better way to do the edges of the closure here. So yeah, that's it. Oh, I did the hemming because I didn't do that on this one, which I did the little crocheted edges to show from that vintage pillowcase. And also, I'm going to say, as I didn't learn the first time, or I didn't think of it, if you want to add the trims and stuff, make sure you add them and sew them on before you close up your pouch. So basically, closing up the pouch is the last step. And then you want to have like a button or Velcro or something, you can add that as the very last step. So I love the way this turned out. It is super cute, and I think I'm really in love with this fabric. It's gorgeous. There's also the issue with the images being upside down on the back, and the best way to solve that issue would be to sew 2 pieces together back to back, and you would just have your hem. You would have a seam on the bottom here, and I can show you guys that too if you want, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory. So anyway, thank you all so very much for joining me today. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all of recently you guys, and I will see you next time. Got some, possibly have a couple of Christmas crafts coming up on my channel here. And also, I want to do a few craft with me's for the journal that I'm working on, Janine's journal. So you might not want to watch those videos, but I think it would be fun to do a few things with you guys. Yeah, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out and dealing with all of the mess that is YouTube and listening to me ramble. Anyway, hope you guys have please don't forget to spread the love, you guys, and until next